Hi, we are Group 10. My name is Lee and my teammate is Thao. Let's listen it and guess what we bring to you today.
Apart from Steve, who else in this world can succeed in three completely different industries: computer, music, and animation? Can you guess who we want to talk about? Yeah, this is what they say about Steve Jobs. And I'm sure that you guys all know him and his products. And today, we will look at the book on his biography. This book was written by a famous writer who wrote biography for Benjamin Franklin and Albert Einstein, Walter Isaacson. The book was released on October 24, 2011 by Simon & Schuster in United States 19 days after Jobs' death. At first, we think, oh my god, we're gonna die. This book is so long. How can we read it? Anyway, we did it.
Yeah, it's totally true. It took us quite a long time to get started with it. During the holiday, we accidentally saw the movie Steve Jobs, which was adapted from a book that has the same name. We were fascinated by what Steve did, and we read the book to know more about his life. We never think finally we can do it. Finish the book, because this book is really, really long.
Do you know why this book was born?
Walter initially refused the invitation many times, but when Steve's wife said, "If you're ever going to do a book on Steve, you better do it now." At that time, the author found out that Steve was suffering from cancer, and he had just taken a second radiation treatment. After that, the author decided to write this book. The book was based on more than 40 interviews with Jobs and more than 100 interviews with relatives, friends, adversaries, competitors, and colleagues, conducted over 2 years.
How about the summary?
Okay, Miss Google, I'm gonna talk about it. A biography book, of course, it's written about his life. I will divide this summary into 3 parts: childhood, career or Apple, and the last days of his life. Steve was adopted by the couple Paul Jobs and Clara Hagopian. His full name is Thi Phuong Jobs. He was an unruly but excellent student. In 1972, he decided to drop out his university, and after that, he went to an Indian temple to study Zen and the Buddha teachings. After the Apple company was founded, Steve Jobs' career rapidly developed. However, in 1985, Apple dealt with difficult situations, and Jobs was fired by his own company. After that, he started again with Next. The opponent compete with Apple. Thanks to this, he can meet Ed Catmull and have Pixar in his career list. In 1997, he came back with Apple as a CEO. The rest of this novel is almost about Jobs' struggle with cancer, and in part due to his stubborn refusal to treat. The biography, it was born after Steve's death, but it never said anything about that.
Why did you choose this book and what you like best about it?
After Steve's death, many series of titles about his life was published. It's really hard to say which book is the best, but if you ask me to choose one of them, I'll definitely choose the biography of Steve Jobs by Walter Rice section. Because at some point, this book gives me a lot of inspiration and motivation to strive in life. It shows every stage of his life, the way he inspires, the way he fascinates, and I am truly impressed by his different way of thinking. He said, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do." I have applied this quote to my life, and I have done things that I never thought of. You can try it because I think it will make your life more interesting than ever before. Steve Jobs' life, thoughts, and personality are highlighted through this book. Young people who want to have a success like Steve Jobs, I think you have to quickly buy yourself this book, and I'm sure that you won't be disappointed about it.
Suggestion.
As the following introduction, this book was adapted into a film with the same name, Steve Jobs. If you love Steve's success stories, don't forget to click on this link to enjoy it. Most of the audience are very impressed with the works. Steve Jobs, directed by Danny Boyle, screenwriter Aaron Sorkin, and then famous actor Michael Fassbender. But I believe that whether it's a book or a movie, Steve's success stories will inspire you and help you face through the hardships of life. So, finally, we hope this review can give you a new perspective on Steve Jobs, as well as this book about his life. And thanks for listening.